Following yesterday's stunning drop, the price of XRP has recovered, reaching as low as $2.74 according to Livecoin Watch. Naturally, it wasn't exclusive to XRP either. The market as a whole had a slight decline. Is it the worst though? Is the bottom in? Is it time for us to exhale? Although many analysts believe that the answer is yes, it is not the end of the world even if we do decline, which some analysts acknowledge could occur, as you can see in this video. You'll see why, in fact. This bull market is far from being structurally broken. That simply isn't happening. Much higher before eventually hitting a bear market. However, that is still a long way off. There are many reasons to be hopeful in this situation. XRP has recovered, and hopefully that was the worst of it. By the time you're reading this, the price should be at least the same, if not higher, although that is by no means a given. In this video, I will present the viewpoints of several different XRP chart experts. I do want to be clear though, before continuing, I have no financial experience. I'm not giving financial advice, and whatever I say or write should not lead you to buy or sell anything. I'm merely a hobbyist who likes to create YouTube videos about crypto-related subjects for enjoyment. It is 5:03 p.m. Central Time while I am filming this video. XRP is up $2.93 on Sunday, August 3rd, 2025. So things are looking up. That bounce is good. That represents a strong recovery from yesterday's lows of $2.74. Bitcoin has risen from a 24-hour low of $112,396 to $114,610. Some individuals must be feeling a little better today than they did yesterday. But gosh, there has been some fear, even though it shouldn't have been there. This is the end of a bull market. Therefore, it wouldn't make sense to be afraid. Not in this place. The real ecstatic phase hasn't arrived yet. This is a post by TechDev, a chart analyst. He told his 538,000 X followers about this. According to him, the crowd keeps thinking maybe top after every dip, which should tell you everything you need to know. Timeline, wall of fear, eggshells since 15K. When it breaks, worry. That's exactly right. I shared this post on August 1st, more than 12 hours before he posted that, which he did in the evening and the morning of that day. To convey the gravity of my message and to yell at you online, I typed in all capital letters. Markets do not top in fear, I wrote. The message is that. Thus, TechDev is telling you the same thing when he delivers his message, which I just read to you. People, we're not at the end when everyone is afraid. You should be concerned when the market is not scared and you have the first real dip that signals a bear market, while everyone is in a state of euphoria. However, you should not be certain that this is the only situation. But while everyone else is worried, you shouldn't be. The market believes the reverse to be true. Almost always that is the case. Here is a Bitcoin USD chart and a sound retest from Crypto Wizard. My focus is on Bitcoin as we start a new week because it failed to breach the crucial $120,000 barrier level after breaking out of the inverse head and shoulders, as predicted. The breakout is currently being retested. Is it possible to use it as support? Dips are still available for purchase. He therefore does not believe that this matter is yet to be resolved. Simply prepare them. Once more, dips are for purchase. That's his viewpoint for individuals who are considering purchasing. It makes sense to me. Here's another post from him. A chart showing the market capitalization of Bitcoin's supremacy. Collapse is coming, he says. Although Bitcoin dominance has been rising since 2022, it recently ended July with a bearish engulfing and rejected the symmetrical triangle's top trend line. There was a collapse the previous time this happened. It pays to be patient. Yes, that is what we desire. Even as the price of Bitcoin rises, we want its dominance to fall. Altcoin domination rises as a result. In the past, this has occurred at each stage of the cycle. Folks, it's playing out just as you should have anticipated. There's no reason to be afraid here. While the market was collapsing yesterday, Credible Crypto published this post. I want to cover 3 scenarios in my video, he stated. We're reversing right here on 2 of the 3. One of them is eliminated by a move below $110,000. Of course, he's talking about Bitcoin. The second possibility is eliminated by a move below $105,000, leaving only the last one to consider. The higher time frame structure holds in each of the 3 scenarios. Therefore, don't get so worked up over what is essentially noise on the lower periods. Well, that's wise counsel. Don't stress out. All is well. We're bouncing. At least so far, which is wonderful. Red Oyster wrote to him, stating that no one has a crystal ball, and that it's possible that Bitcoin's peak was already reached, meaning there won't be an alt season this time. It might not happen, but there would be serious repercussions if a longer timeline were lost in a few weeks. Please allow us to feel a little uneasy in light of the current crisis. Credible Crypto doesn't like it either. No, nothing indicates that the top is already in, he replies. That's what I'm saying. These markets cannot be approached emotionally. Reason and logic must always be applied. We would need to drop below $74,000 for a longer period to be lost, but we are far from that, and we may drop further without even approaching that level. You're reacting emotionally to this move, which is bad for your long-term success in this market. If you're anxious as we trade at $112,000, even if you know there's little risk if we drop below $110,000, $100,000, or even $90,000. A small golf clap goes to that one. You're right, Credible Crypto. Additionally, he mentioned a few days ago that it might be time to start ZERPing once more shortly, which could suggest it's time to start purchasing XRP here. He published that just this morning, sharing this XRP/BTC chart and only writing XRP. Take a look at this. He's pointing out a crucial level that dropped below this line, but I suppose I'll have to confront it again. He's expecting us to get up right where I'm dragging my mouse across the screen. So I suppose that's resistance now. It's coming, for those of you who are looking. Folks, we're not done with this. If XRP surpasses Bitcoin by a new all-time high this cycle, don't be shocked. Since the beginning of the upward trend in November, it has been tearing up. My friends, it's not finished. We simply haven't finished. This is a post by Dr. Cat, an expert on XRP charts. According to him, XRP, this pullback should terminate between August 2 and August 4, and if tested over 3 days, $2.78 should offer support. I shared that in a video yesterday after he posted it, and since we now have the advantage of more hindsight, I just wanted to draw attention to it. Yes, he was rather near. We're kind of at odds with each other, really. He stated that different analysts were citing varying values. Some were a little bit lower, while others were stating $2.78. As a result, I'm aware that when they use invalidation, they occasionally literally mean the prices they are referencing. However, the way I personally interpret it is when multiple analysts make remarkably identical statements with comparable price estimates, they're most likely correct. I'm just asserting from my observation of them that if they're saying it's safe, we're relatively safe, regardless of whether they view something as a specific invalidation for what they're saying. I've seen several analysts mention numbers that are somewhat similar to that, and while we did momentarily fall to $2.74, we have since risen above it. So far, it's looking nice, at least while I'm filming this. According to CW's post from this morning, long holdings in XRP have all but vanished. There are just short positions left. All right, you might say that there is a bearish feeling, but there is still a chance that they could get completely destroyed, which is another reason why I avoid using leverage. And unless you're an advanced trader, which is nearly 0% of people, I'll never do it, because it's dumb for you, even if many people still want to do it. It is foolish, but to each their own. Additionally, you will lose money. I'm just letting everyone know that things are going to turn around. There's no doubt that this will turn. Dom, a chart analyst, posted this yesterday afternoon. XRP update to $2.80, he remarked. $2.80, that is. In other words, the initial area of interest was the $2.80 region, and they've cut through that. From here, I'm waiting for a bounce that will bring the price down below $2.65. Therefore, he did not state that we needed to reach $2.65. He says anything below that and maybe as low as that. In any case, the chart is seriously harmed. We didn't want to see any possibility of a short-term continuation. We didn't come that close to $2.65, but at least we've had a solid bounce since then. Folks, nothing is broken here, and I wanted to convey that message. That's a significant portion. All is well. Considering what has been going on here, I don't see any of the experts I follow losing their minds. Zoom, a chart analyst, posted something yesterday. He stated that Wave 5 is nearing its conclusion and that XRP has a shorter timeline. I'll say it again. $6 to $8 XRP in August is very likely. I also mentioned that yesterday. XRP had a perfect bounce from the lower timeframe Wave 5 zone mentioned yesterday, he noted while reposting that this morning. He is therefore quite positive about the near future. We should reach $6 to $8 this month. So let's not cry about this. We're recovering and the best is still to come. However, that is what has transpired up to this moment. XRP simply recovered. An XRP weekly close above $2.94 would be nice, and above $3.04 would be fantastic, according to this report from Crypto Insight UK. We'll see what transpires here. As I mentioned, it is currently 5:11 p.m. as I write this. Thus, the close is less than 2 hours away. We are currently at $2.92. I'm not sure. You are the people of the future. Whether that occurs or not, you know. It might. At the moment, we're fairly close. This is a post from Greg Crypto, a chart analyst. A 6-month update on XRP. This candle will close in 4 months and 29 days. Have we already reached the peak, or will we create history by overcoming the XRP price chasm? And nobody is noticing it, not even me. Yes, I don't think so. I continue to believe that the final leg will be an incredible experience. Here's what the data indicates. $4.89 is the non-log scale measured move. $48.90 is the log scale measured move. Furthermore, he is not directly forecasting that. And I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell that's occurring. I'm only sharing my thoughts with you. That's not going to happen in my opinion. About a 0% likelihood in my opinion. I doubt I am, but I'm glad to be incorrect. He claims that the difference between the log and non-log scales is an astounding 10x. I'm all for the average approach, as you know. Therefore, the average of these two goals is $27, or $4.89 plus $48.90 divided by 2. That amount certainly isn't outlandish, regardless of whether you believe that's a sensible way to get there. Take it or leave it, he says. Telling you what to do is not my duty. I'm merely here to demonstrate how illuminating the patterns are.
As I mentioned earlier, nobody is flipped bearish here, and it also doesn't make sense for you to do so, people. The greatest is still to come. XRP has recently recovered. By the time you're viewing this, hopefully.